Hello, my little sugar plum fairy coupon. I have been messing with this Blue Yeti mic for 1.5 American hours, and it's not going well, like at all. Like, I can't get the settings right. And I don't know why. Maybe because I'm a masochist. I've been doing all this with the door closed, so the girls can't mess with the mic. And I opened it because my brain doesn't work. Anyways, today I'm going to try to do more soft spoken. If I go to edit this video and it doesn't sound right, expect to never hear from me again. Anyways, I have really had always really crazy, vivid dreams. And like always, maybe it's mental illness, medication, maybe it's eating Fruity Pebbles with marshmallows before bed. Maybe it's a combo, but I've been writing down my dreams recently, and I want to read you some of them. Whisper some of them to you. Okay? So the first dream that I had, am I supposed to lean in? I cannot tell. I think maybe I'll just stay back here. Opening my door was the wrong choice. The first dream I had that made me open up my notes app and start writing down my dreams was about an iceberg, which is interesting because I have dreamed about icebergs since then. The first thing written down is 177. The next sentence that I wrote, and a lot of these were written directly after waking up, and so they're not coherent. They almost got up the mountain and won, but I figure out they were cheating. It was melted ice. Going the long way. Faucet's so close to jumping up on this table. I'm sorry if you can hear the heat. I'm not going to turn it on like last week, because last week when I went to go check, it was like 55 degrees in here after just an hour of turning off the heat, so that wasn't very slay. Going the long way out of the backyard to safety. The curve of his shoulder in the deep blue ice. Where did he go? What is the whisper left behind? When I woke up in the morning, like actually woke up and I read that, I was like, that's low-key poetic and gorgeous. So that's when I decided to like start doing it every night. I've talked a lot about, maybe not a lot, I've talked about dreaming around pot roast, sensing her in my dreams without ever being able to see her. Like I'm in a room and I can feel her about to round the corner of the room, but I never see her do it. One that was particularly disturbing to me was I was holding her like a baby, but she had like 20 or 30 blankets wrapped around her, so I was like going like this, and I knew that she was under the mass of blankets, but I couldn't see her. And she very famously has only appeared in one dream, and it was a dream where I was talking to a man that I dated in the year 2013, which I hate that that's when she appeared, but also that's very on brand for my queen. Anyways, I'm no longer dreaming around her, but I am now dreaming around a man. He's been in many of my dreams, and I've only seen the back of him. He's very tall and he has short brown hair, and he was on this first iceberg dream. And then he's in I had a second iceberg dream about him. I need to find what I wrote down about it. I dreamed about him a few nights ago. I wrote, sand on the bedroom floor. This man had dark hair. He was a witch. He built a tree house for me. He loves me so much. I'm not seeing the second iceberg dream, but it doesn't matter because I remember it exactly. So I can tell you about it. We were on a single iceberg in this really, really big, deep blue ocean. But there was, I wasn't afraid of the ocean, and me, IRL, so scared of the ocean. I gotta decide if I'm leaning in or leaning back. I can't decide. But anyways, him and I are climbing it, right? He's on this side of the iceberg. I'm on this side, but I can sense him, right? And we have those when climbers use the axes to pull themselves up. We both have those, okay? And I slip and I start to fall, and the way I fall back is it wasn't scary at all. It was floating down into the water, and right before I hit the water, right before I go under, I see the man dive in, and then I wake up in my children are fighting on my bed, and I'm trying to tell you about my poetic ass dream. Girls. A cave type of thing where there is, you know how sometimes caves have underwater springs, natural pools? I was in one of those, and there were these two ladies there telling me about the man who dove in after me. And I can't remember anything else after that. I think I woke up. And I heard a lady say once that dreams that you have in the middle of the night, dreams that you wake up from in the middle of the night, and I wake up many, many, many times a night, are often prophetic, but dreams you have early in the morning before you get up for good are more dreams of your brains trying to work something out, you know? Anyways, I have such intense anxiety that this Blue Yeti mic is going to sound bad when I go to edit this. But I guess I have to let go and let God. Also, I want to read this to you. And this is at the very bottom, and I made several spaces before I wrote this. So I don't know why I did that. When the flesh has fallen off my bones and I'm dust, when we are nothing but a distant and ancient civilization, my love for you will persist. My love will endure. Okay, pop off, sleepy queen. Last night, I wrote down my dream from last night. I got bit by an alligator in Florida. And when I went to the hospital, they tried to cure me with snakes. It was awful. I was in a room where, I've never been in a room like this, but I've seen it on people getting dialysis or chemotherapy. It's just a room with a bunch of chairs with sick people, and I saw that. I was in one of those chairs, and they kept bringing over different snakes that latched on and bit me, and they said would heal me, and I was having a meltdown, and all the other people in the chairs with snakes attached to them were just staring at me what is wrong with this girl? I dreamed I was in France, and they had an amazing cat costumes for Rocco. I remember this because they had sombrero and poncho cat costumes. I love my brain. She's so real for that. I walked out without paying and got in trouble with the cartel. I don't think in France it's called the cartel. I don't know what organized crime is called in France. I gotta be real. Some of my dreams are not poetic. They're just funny. Just regular funny. This one says, Jennifer Coolidge dressed the cats up. Coupon. Jennifer Coolidge dressed the cats up in pipe cleaners while I was asleep. Slay. I didn't write that. That's just... This is the dream I had about the man from 2013 that Pot Roast was in. Him and I went to a house party. He's not the male presence that I feel in my dreams that I can't see. It's not him. You and I went to a house party where we watched a movie in the yard outside, but we were sitting next to Timothy Chalamet. And I actually believe his real name is Timothée Chalamet. I keep telling you, I think I really needed to get a third cat, and you said, I don't think you need to do that. We went on this road trip in my car, except my car had a backup camera. That's my ultimate fantasy. I want to live in my wildest dreams. I live in a house that has a garage, and I have a car with a backup camera. Maybe those don't seem like big dreams to you, but to me, the biggest, okay? We went to this really small town and we ate at this diner. People were giving us very nasty looks until you offered to fix this girl's sink, and then people started being nice to us. And then you ended up fixing people's cars and doing all kinds of stuff. They made you the mayor. It's him. They made him the mayor. And then, I don't know why I didn't write down the part. Maybe I didn't. Maybe that wasn't the dream about him that Pot Roast was in. I've dreamed about him before. The dream I had about him where Pot Roast was in it, him and I were in this big barn that used to be on the back of my grandparents' property. And we were feeding goats. And I don't even remember what I was talking about, but I was facing the man, and the goats were right here, and there was a big pile of hay over here, and I feel Pot Roast, and I turn around and she's just walking down the hay, and then I woke up. It was so lame. I'm like, that better not be the real her, because that is infuriating. Faucet. I say it 1,000,000 times a day, but scientists really should study what's wrong with my children. I had a baby, question mark, Chrissy Teigen and Trisha Paytas are here, was there. A lot of my dreams are frightening. I think that's why the dreams with Pot Roast and the man are so, memorable, is because they're comforting, but most of my dreams are frightening. This says, once again, something bad happened to my car in the parking lot. A sorority girl hit and runned me. I love that that's enough. That's plenty. Trying to catch her faucet, and every time I touched her, she split off into more faucets. I wonder what I meant by that. I wonder if I meant that faucet hit and runned me. Did faucet hit and run me? Do you guys like mouth sounds? Cold cream is on sale. Why do I have to eat this fish? Walking up the big hill and around the neighborhood. A lot of my dreams take place in my childhood neighborhood. When I was a little girl, 2 houses down from me is where my grandparents lived. And so a lot of my dreams focus on being in that neighborhood in either my house or my grandparents' house. A recurring dream that I have over and over and over again is that someone has broken into my house, or is very, very close to kidnapping me or injuring me in some way. But I have my phone out and I'm dialing 911, but I cannot get the numbers right. Like I dial 812 or I dial 811 and my fingers are too big. I can't hit the right buttons. And I just keep trying over and over and over again to dial 911. And I can't do it. With these big circles under my eyes, it makes me saying things like this a bit creepy, which I love and celebrate. Caramel plant exploded. Arguing over parking. Big white SUVs. Showing girl jumping spiders while they eat a butterfly. I actually remember this. There was like a big hibiscus flower, and there was a butterfly. I think it was blue, and then like a little black jumping spider walked up behind it, and it had like a mouth you could see, I guess, and so it like opened its jaws and swallowed the butterfly. The car crash that launched the girl into the tree while I stayed rooted in the sandy, shallow stream. I can't remember, but something like lizards at a resort. There was a bad man. There was one I had recently about a monster with really scary eyes. I want to find where I wrote that down. Kim Kardashian Halloween song, 7 Little Monsters. 2 foster kittens named Wisp and Cloud. I often wish that the version of me who wrote these dreams down elaborated, but she does not. Shoop. Oh, I see it. White streak in my hair. It was like this. It was sort of like, I think her name was Stacy. She was on a show called What Not to Wear, and she had like a white streak, and I always thought that was so glamorous, and I had this in my dream. A large, scary monster in my living room. I ran right towards him. What's wrong with his eyes? The freakiest part about writing these dreams down is I often ask questions, like the one at the top. The first one I read. Where did he go? What is the whisper left behind? Fire ants in my teeth. The half crocodile scandal. He died plus her dog at the door. Going on tour with a comedian as a nanny. The strange sink. Dark green velvet lettering. I slept too long at the Bone Museum, so they gave me mud water. Classic Bone Museum. Oh, but the monster with the scary eyes. It was like this, right? Like I'm in my room messing around, and I hear something, and I stand right here in the doorway. And right there on the living room rug was this huge, enormous monster. Hold on, Coupon's chewing on something she should not be. And I'm like just standing here, and I'm like scared, but I feel like I have to go to him. Do you know what I mean? And he was very tall and dark. Like everything about him was like shadowy, and he had a head that was like a bull and these big horns, and he had arms like a man. And when I started running towards him, hold on. towards him. And he opens his arms. And I like do like a little half flip into his arms. And I immediately wake up. Like, I'm talking, the second my head hits like his chest, stomach area, I open my eyes. That one freaked me out. Okay, I have some dreams left, but I think I'm gonna save them. I hope I dream about Jennifer Coolidge again. If this is something you guys enjoy, and the Blue Yeti mic doesn't sound terrible, we can do this again. I love you. Goodbye.